Good morning. Let us all join together and sing, I Am Home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road and now I'm home. Shalom. In the love of God, I am home. I am home. I am home. I have traveled far along this road. Now I'm home. Shalom. Shalom. In the love of God, I am home.
Welcome to Unity, spirituality with open hearts and open minds. And we had so much fun yesterday at Fort Worden at the Kitchen Beach Shelter for our annual picnic. It was just terrific. If you missed it this year, it's a wonderful time, so when it gets announced next year, put it on your calendar so you don't miss it. So it's so much fun to gather together twice in the same weekend. It's just it truly is a spiritual family. And so welcome, whether you've been here for years or whether you're brand new, to this circle of kindred souls who walk through life together through tears and laughter, but always with grace and with much love for one another. So welcome to our circle. And we're going to open with singing Come Light, Light of God, which is our chant that reminds us that that divine spark is found in one and in all. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. Come light, light of God, give light to creation, enlighten our hearts and remain with your world. So I invite you now to stand and just do a namaste to the people around you, beholding that light of God in all who are gathered this day. And then we are going to have Ron lead us in one of his songs, Living the Truth.
Check 1, 2. So what I'm going to do, this is a new song, so I'm going to sing it through one time, both parts, and then you guys will start as it is on the screen here. So that way you can get a little used to it. I let go of that which holds me back, and I set my vision free. I dive into the holiness, and in its light I see there are no limits, there are no doubts. I can shine if I choose. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. In truth, I am strong. Nothing can go wrong. In truth, I am free. Let it be all together now. I let go of that which holds me back, and I set my vision free. I dive into the holiness, and in its light I see There are no limits, there are no doubts. I can shine if I choose. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. Here we go. I let go of that which holds me back, and I set my vision free. I dive into the holiness, and in its light I see. There are no limits, there are no doubts. I can shine if I choose. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. 2, 3, 4. In truth, I am strong. Nothing can go wrong. In truth, I am free. Let it be. I let go of that which holds me back, and I set my vision free. I dive into the holiness, and in its light I see. There are no limits, there are no doubts. I can shine if I choose. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth. One more time. Nothing is impossible when I'm living in the truth.
Please be seated. And I'm thrilled to remind you that this month we are joining with the Jefferson Interfaith Action Coalition, of which we are a part, for a month-long series, Who is Our Neighbor? People of faith are working together to reflect, be in prayer, observe, and then take action. How does your faith tradition call you to respond? And today is the day that First Presbyterian Church is having a message on this theme called Sacred Spaces. You can go online and watch that service. And then next week it will be Unity that will be hosting the community, either here in person, live streamed, or through our recordings that we have on our website. And our theme is going to be embracing unity and diversity. So First Presbyterian is the tradition today, and this comes from Reverend Paul Hines, who's the pastor of First Presbyterian, on behalf of the Presbyterian community. Jefferson Interfaith Action Coalition, a circle of faith drawing from a variety of faith traditions here in East Jefferson County, invites all people of faith and anyone who feels called to join us in prayer and reflection for our community and from some of our neighbors who are the most vulnerable around us in a challenging time. As people of faith, we have been concerned about the rising tide of divisive rhetoric and hurtful action that has been directed toward our immigrant neighbors, documented and undocumented. We believe all of our civil and human rights are threatened when the civil and human rights of the vulnerable are being violated. In a time when reasoned and peaceful debate around this issue has become more and more partisan and polarizing, we feel the need to join together around our common core values of compassion and the intrinsic work of every human being. We believe in prayer, and the awareness and energy it nurtures has its power to bless and bring changes, both for those who are lifted up and those who do the lifting up. We believe in reflecting and working together in a positive way as people of faith, in a meaningful and unique witness to a world where we seem increasingly pulled farther and farther apart. And so next week it will be Unity, and then on Labor Day, September the 1st at 4 p.m. there'll be a gathering at Howler Fountain, and we do have some flyers out in the lobby if you're interested in learning a little bit more about it. So the Unity community is coming together to bridge the divides and to unite as people who believe in the power of love, whatever spiritual tradition each one of us comes from. So thank you, and I now give you David.
So as the song said, nothing's impossible when we're living in the truth. So we've been talking about miracles for this last month, and this is the second Sunday talking about the feeding of the 5,000. So that got me off on thinking, well, what really is a miracle? We all have our definitions of it, so here's a kind of a common one. Some kind of extraordinary event that defies natural or scientific explanation and is often attributed to divine or spiritual cause. Does that ring a bell for anybody? It's about divine intervention or grace, God's grace stepping in some kind of event. And sometimes it's really flashy. You look in the Bible and there are big flashes. Okay, we're going to part the Red Sea and do these other kinds of things. Or it may be an improbable event. I got this intuition not to go here, and there was a car wreck because I wasn't there, and I would have been involved with that. Or it's a symbol of hope. Miracles bring us hope and transformation, the triumph of good over evil. That was a good one, huh? So
that's just the sound god.
I'm trying on that end. So that brought me to the thinking about miracle-mindedness. And Pam's talking about the 12 conditions of a miracle. But miracle-mindedness follows up with that in that we come from a place of truth that miracles not only happen, but they're not a one-time event or a big splashy event. They're an everyday occurrence. Everything's a miracle, virtually. It's changing our mindset. It's changing our thinking to come from the place where we're all connected, come from the place of love, if you will, coming from a place of forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and forgiving others on a regular basis, not just when the big event happens, but on the small events where I could have done, but I didn't do, and forgive myself for that. And looking at the world through the lens of wholeness. In the Native American traditions, there's a word called Matakowe Oyasin, meaning all my relations. And in their tradition, everything is a relation. Everything. Every animal, plant, system, the sun, the moon, all of it are part of our relation. We're part of that web of life. And we're inexplicitly connected to it, and we have an obligation to be within it. Matakowe Oyasin. So how do we get to this mindset? Well, first of all, we got to get beyond fear and ego and material attachments. That's probably the biggest obstacle, is getting out of my ego and my attachments. We're practicing non-attachment this next couple of weeks as we get ready for this garage sale. Well, it's a little symbol, but it's not it can be used. Okay, because I look at something and I go, I can put this in the garage sale. You can do that with one of your thoughts too, you know. You can put it in the great cosmic garage sale and just let it go. So stinking thinkings that we get involved with sometimes. So, And if it really serves me, this thing, whatever it is, I go like, well, this thing brings me joy, it brings me love, and it brings my joy and my love comes out and others can express it. I think I'll keep that one. Being present in the moment. That's another really difficult one. I don't know about the rest of you, but I have these pasts and these futures that I think about probably more so than I think about right now. You ever step off a stair and miss it? Well, being in the moment would say, I'm not present now. This is what I'm doing. I'm walking off of this stage. That's what I'm doing in this moment. It's not what's going on yesterday or what's going to come up when I end this paper, but it's right what I'm doing right now. Miracle-mindedness requires forgiveness, and that is a big one. It's been a big one for me. And it's about almost on a daily practice, forgiving somebody or something and forgiving yourself. It's like scrubbing the day away. Scrubbing all the dirt of the day away, or the dirt in my head away. What I found out about forgiveness, particularly some of the big things in my life, is that I never really ever let them go. But what I do is I let go of the energy that they hold on me. Not forgiving somebody is like taking a pill, a poison pill, and expect the other person to have the effects of it. Until we let it go, that forgiveness will go out there, and whether or not that person understands it or not doesn't make any difference. It's what's holding us up. And then there's freedom from fear. It's a mindset of choosing love over fear. So as soon as we get into a fearful situation, is to take a breath and just know that all is well in that second. And then finally is the expression of love. In the Course in Miracles, it talks about a miracle is any time you express love instead of fear. And then it says that there's no hierarchy to miracles, which means there are no big ones and little ones. They just all are. And that's the interesting thing about the Course of Miracles, I think. It is about shifting our perception from all this attachment to the body and things and relationships and all that, and changing that and fixing our attachment to Spirit, to God, to the divine. It is about connecting with others from the viewpoint that we are all one. Matakoe o Yasen. We are all related. And that viewpoint, I believe, is the will of God, personally. And I believe that our whole role here, whatever it is, we're spiritual beings having a human experience for a divine reason. I believe that the number one divine reason is to heal the separation between us and our Creator. And that's a big job. But once we heal that for ourselves, it starts healing for the whole planet. So the Course in Miracles says, well, you got to do a couple of things. First, you got to change from fear to love. Forgiveness over judgment. Unity over separation. And then you need to express love. And it doesn't have to be a big deal. It just has to be a kind thought, a caring act, a change in perception about this versus me. And it goes on to say, of course, healing through forgiveness. Recognize the shared divine essence in everyone. Yeah, somebody did me wrong. And maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe it wasn't about me at all. But I took it as me. So change our perception. And miracles transform time. An act of kindness now may land on the planet someplace out in time, or have healed something behind us, because miracles don't it that way. So, in essence, the real miracle, is what the Course in Miracles would say, is the awareness of love's presence in our lives as our natural state. Is who and what we are. Stand in that truth. So we're only one thought, one action, one perception away. Seeing through the eyes of spirit instead of through the eyes of an ego. That's the change. That's the change. Go from our head to our heart. And it's the lens of our heart that does the healing. And part of that is surrendering. Today's daily word. So listen to this and follow up on that song we just sang. It's natural to have ideas and preferences about how things should be and to work towards those results that I wish. But I can exhaust myself if I attempt to exert control over my life's circumstances. In fact, the more I try, the less control that I have. Releasing the illusion of control. I practice spiritual surrender. The illusion of control. So much more than giving up. Surrendering my efforts and my hopes to the divine within is an act of empowerment. So much more than giving up. Surrendering my efforts and hopes to the divine within me is an act of empowerment. It means living my faith that God is in and through all things. It means trusting that there is outcomes better than the ones that I can even imagine. I surrender to God's peace and perfection within me. I give up trying to control outcomes and relax, welcoming serendipity and ease and grace. Surrender is the way. From Proverbs, my child, give me your heart and let your eyes observe my ways. I surrender is my path to peace. And so it is. Amen.
And so now we get to turn within to that inner sanctuary that journeys with us wherever life takes us and is that birthplace of not just miracles, but of our awareness of the miracles that are with us each and every moment, all along the way. So let us sing Sanctuary as we shift from this outer spiritual family and sanctuary into our inner connection with the divine and that place of peace that abides in the core of our being. Sanctuary.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
Oh, so just settle into this holy moment. Allow yourself to relax, your breathing to slow and to deepen. Leave in the outer world all of the concerns and the things that are happening, and allow yourself to be welcomed into this inner place of peace. Let it manifest all around you, below, above, all around and within, as you let Spirit gift you with a place that for you in this moment represents a divine place of connection and grace and sanctuary. Indoors, outdoors, real or imagined, it matters not. Just allow Spirit to place you in a place that brings you connection and peace and grace. And now bring everything in your life from before that first breath in this lifetime, and all the way to this moment, and allow yourself to send a wave of gratitude, how all of it has helped you grow into the person you are today. Just send a wave of gratitude back. Feel it bringing light and healing and new perceptions as you realize the higher wisdom and grace of all that has brought you to this moment now. And now allow yourself to open in gratitude for how your life is unfolding in this moment and how you are unfolding in your soul journey in this moment. Realize you are a beloved child of God in the midst of this earthly experience. Allow yourself to be in gratitude, realizing you never walk alone. For the Spirit of Divine is with you in an infinite number of forms to let you know you are loved. Be in gratitude for the blessings that surround you, meeting you right where you are this day. And now widen your vision and send it forward into that which is yet to be in the unfolding of your life. Send forth gratitude ahead of you on the path, for then it will serve as a light to help you notice the blessings all along the way, to feel the support in both expected and unexpected forms, and that the unfolding before you is with your highest self, with the presence of God, and with those who love you and all of creation. So just in this moment, surrender into gratitude for all that is yet to come. Now come back to this holy moment. Oh, and just settle in, feeling the presence of the divine and the grace and the peace that that brings. And allow it to touch you at every level of being, body, mind, heart, and soul. You not only are a beloved child of God, you are a vessel for the presence of God in this world. In this moment, I invite you to be a channel of prayers and blessings as you gather all of the prayers that are yours this day for yourself, for others, for this spiritual family, for our shared world. Bring them into this moment and release them, praying always for highest and best for all, in right and perfect time, and for gentle and graceful unfolding. We now uplift our prayers individually and collectively into the light and love of God. Unity of down coming day, the rest of this service, the message. We add to these prayers all of those entrusted to our High Watch prayer chaplains, written, spoken, or sent soul to soul. And so now gather yourself and your life exactly as it is and exactly as you are, and receive this gift from Circle of Grace by Jan Richardson. Let this inspire you for the coming week, starting right where you are this day. Blessing the ordinary. Let these words lay themselves like a blessing upon your head, your shoulders, as if like hands they could pass on to you what you most need for this day. As if they could anoint you not merely for the path ahead, but for this ordinary moment that opens itself to you. Opens itself like another hand that unfurls itself, that reaches out to gather these words in the bowl of its palm. You may think this blessing lives within these words, but I tell you it lives in the opening and in the reaching. It lives in the ache where this blessing begins. It lives in the hollow made by the place where the hands of this blessing meet. Feel the hands of this blessing upon you, and go forth renewed, restored, and rededicated to the journey of your soul and the path of the living, loving Christ. And we now link inner and outer worlds as one as we sing Sanctuary, knowing that our lives are sanctuary as well.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, open-hearted, tried and true, with thanksgiving. I am a living sanctuary for you.
so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. I behold the divine in you, one and all. You are loved. And now the gift of special music, Holy Now.
When I was a boy each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, and now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, I barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down. Now I walk it with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. 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 Read a questioning child's face. Say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to see. See another new morning come. Say it's not a sacrament. I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out. Now things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven second-rate hand-me-down. But I'm walking with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now.
Thank you. I love that song. Everything is holy now. That is Christ consciousness, to realize that everything, however we might judge it from our outer world perception, everything has the potential to be holy. In the beginning of the Bible, in the book of Genesis, the world is created. And what does the divine say? It's all good. Everything is holy. And then, as humans, we tried to, as Simon would say, instead of us being made in the image of God, we tried to make God in our image. And we tend to see polarity and judgment. And the divine sees creation and love and goodness and grace. And so Jesus comes along, and when he's talking to the woman at the well, that's who he lets know who he is. Not the inner circle, but a woman he meets at a well. And he said, the day is coming where everyone will worship in spirit and truth, wherever they are, not just in the temple in Jerusalem. That's the vision. That's the message that he brought. And then you get all the way to the end of the book of Revelations, and everybody always talks about the apocalypse and the final battle, which is actually a very tiny passage in that book. But where does it end up? It ends up in a place where everyone is welcome, not just some, and where there are fruits and blossoming on the trees all year long. There's clear flowing water, and the divine is celebrated not in buildings, but everywhere. Everything is holy now. That's how things were created. That's what Jesus reminded us of, and that's what the projection into the future says that's where we're going to end up. It's just taking us a little while to get there, isn't it? Because this is a spiritual process. We are made in the image and likeness of God, which means we're co-creators. That's our essential energy. And our essential energy is also that of love. The other stuff is what we've learned in this realm when we've come into polarity and duality. Miracles, I believe, are the working of the natural laws, but a higher level, where you're seeing the energetic truth behind everything, where you're seeing it all holy. Even if the pieces you're not comfortable with are there, they're part of some pattern. I love doing puzzles, because inevitably there's a piece that I can't find and I'm sure it's missing. And I look, and it's not there. And I went, that piece is missing. And then I go do something else and I come back and it's right there. That's why it's so important for us as we go through our lives and see what's happening, encounter life, but then take some time to step back from it in prayer and meditation to get that higher view, so that when we then step back, we're going, that's what that puzzle piece is. That's what this experience is for. It's to help me grow and evolve in love and compassion. All of the various challenges I've had in my life, I really believe all come back to that, helping me develop a deeper sense of compassion and a love that stands no matter what is going on. That, I think, is the lesson for all of us here. The miracle of the loaves and fishes, as I've shared, is the one miracle that's found in all four Gospels, which makes it very, very significant. And it's about looking beneath the surface of what happened and really trying to engage with the message. And Todd Michael wrote the book that we talked about last Sunday, The First 6 Conditions, and that we're going to continue today, The 12 Conditions of a Miracle, the way we can change our thinking to find the missing puzzle pieces, so that when we step into our lives, we can see the wholeness of the picture and not just the little spot we're looking at right now. There's a wonderful analogy that I came across, and I can't remember what book it was in, but it's how changing your perceptions and stepping back and praying and meditating and looking for highest and best and believing that there are blessings and miracles all around you, and then stepping back into your life with the eyes to see and the ears to hear, is like standing at the top of the great continental divide. If you step this way a few feet, the water from all of the rivers from the top of the continental divide flows out to the Pacific Ocean and goes that way. But if you step this way a few feet, those waters flow until they hit the Atlantic. Now, the bodies of water on the earth all end up interconnecting, but it reminds us, do you want to live your life in a way that focuses on the possibility of grace and miracles? Or do you want to go the other direction and say, I've got to do it all on my own, and life is nothing but challenges? Just that little shift of your perception makes all the difference in the world. That's why we have our fifth unity principle. That's one of my favorites, that we are eternal spiritual beings having an earthly experience for a divine reason. And I love, it's like a sandwich. One side of the bread is you're an eternal spiritual being. In the middle, having an earthly experience. The other piece of bread, for a divine reason. Which is two of the three? The divine spirit. That's the most important. And so Jesus does this miracle. And do I believe he had the possibility of actually shifting the physical elementals? Yes. Because he was so connected with spirit that everything was holy. We can make water into wine using grapes and with time. He did it in an instant. So he was working with natural processes, but at an elevated and amplified, where past, present, and future all came into sacred space together. I think that's fabulous. And you know what he said? He didn't say, I'm the only one that gets to do this. He said, everything that I do, you can do and more. We have the capacity to do that as well. And then something that occurred to me when I was in ministerial school was that probably an even greater miracle would be if, out of his loving willingness to share, that called everyone else to step out of fear of lack and to then share what they had with those around them. I think getting people to open their hearts and open up their resources to share would probably be an even bigger miracle than collapsing time. Because that meant he had to touch the souls and the hearts and the minds and the lives of these people who had gathered. We talked last week about the first 6 conditions that help you create the miracle. I've got a handout. We had it last week. We put some more out this morning. If you didn't get one, let us know. And I'm going to put it on the website this week, so you can print it off if you want. So the first conditions to create the miracle are emptiness, releasing and creating a space for the miracle to take place. Number 2, alignment, shifting into connection with the divine presence and into compassion. Jesus goes apart and then he comes back. People meet him at the beach And instead of just ignoring them, he heals them on the spot. He aligns the energy that he connected to within and then begins to manifest it instantly in the outer world. Number 3, asking, clarifying your needs and desires and what it is that's at the core of what you want. This was when the disciples came and said, hey, we don't have any food and we've got all these people to feed. Should we send them home? And Jesus said, no, don't break up the energy field that we've created together. Let's have it become a field of faith and trust. And then maximizing, instead of looking at the basket and saying, that's all we've got, he took what was there in that moment. And he blessed it and accepted it. That reminds us to accept the pieces we have now, even if we don't have the whole thing yet. Number 5 is giving. Giving. That means that you're trusting this divine flow to bring in blessings and to carry out blessings. So this was when they took what they had and said it, instead of saying, okay, disciples, let's go over here and have a picnic, they gave it and shared it with everyone. And then the 6th one is grounding, which I love that they put this in here. He told everybody to sit down on the ground, to connect with Mother Earth that nourishes and sustains us, and to create a foundation that was grounded for the miracles. And that's what we're called to do as well. So this week we get the second 6 conditions, which is accepting the miracle. It's amazing how many people send out prayers and then they forget what it was they asked for, or they've gone on to asking for something else. And when the result comes and the answered prayer comes, they don't even notice it because they're not there to receive and to see it. And that's particularly fun because so often answered prayers comes in unexpected forms, which actually makes it a lot more fun and more of an adventure. And it keeps our attention, and it reminds us that possibilities are limitless. So, number 1 of the second 6 conditions is getting it. Isn't that interesting? Getting it. It means open and visualize it as already happening, as actually present. Put all of your energies into being an open vessel that can receive the blessings that are coming. Feel it unfolding. There was a wonderful prayer process that Greg Braden wrote about in a book that's an ancient process, but that he was also reminded about by a shaman he was working with. And they were up on a mesa, and there had been a terrible drought for ages. And the shaman said, okay, we're going to pray rain. And Greg said, oh, good, we're going to pray for rain? And he said, no. If you pray for rain, it's out there somewhere. He said, you pray rain. He said, close your eyes and start feeling the cool breeze that starts when rain's on its way, the smell in the air that changes. And he said, physically visualize and feel what it feels like if it's getting ready to actually rain. And Greg did that, and they visioned that. They opened their eyes, and there was a huge cloud on the horizon that moved in quickly. And the next thing they knew, they were sitting on the top of the mesa in the midst of rain. So instead of praying for something to happen, pray that it is. Visualize it. So don't pray for rain, pray rain. Whatever miracle it is you're opening to, feel what it feels like when it's here. The second one is be in gratitude. Noella Evans said, gratitude is the language of the angels. Most spiritual masters say if there's one thing to practice, practice gratitude, because it helps you recognize that everything is holy now. When you're in gratitude, you see things through a different lens. I bless Oprah. She used to tell people, do a gratitude journal. Be in gratitude. It's such an important part of the spiritual path. And when you are in gratitude, you're blessing what you have, that you might share it, deeply receive it yourself, pass it on, and then open for the next blessings to come in. Miracle workers are inevitably filled with gratitude. Number 3, acting as if. Act as though it's already in motion. If you're thinking about like going for a new job, start actually looking for what's available. Don't just sit there. Be a part of the co-creative process by not only visualizing it in your mind, but acting as if it has already happened. That was a process that I learned when I was in Al-Anon many years ago. Act as if, because as you do that, you are making your inner desire manifest in the physical form. It is connecting, so stop procrastinating. Take a leap of faith based on the miracle you are opening to receive. Jesus, without hesitation, broke the bread after it had been blessed with gratitude and passed it on. So you get it, you're grateful for it, and then you act as if it's already present because it is. Number 4 is engaging the cycle. You've now opened to receive it, you're grateful, and you've begun to integrate it in instead of procrastinating. You've begun to actually live it. And so the next thing I love is recognize that it's part of this great cycle of life. And so as soon as you receive the beginning of this miracle of answered prayer, look around for ways you can share it. Not just holding it to yourself, but how can you use it to do your soul work and to bring the blessings that are uniquely yours into the world? Because when you give, at that point, the circuit becomes complete. And you're part of this cycle of blessings that will then reactivate again for the next miracle. It's like electricity. It creates energy, and then it moves through a lamp, but you have to plug it in and turn it on. So engage the cycle and be willing to find ways not just to receive, but also to give. And having opened to give, it opens you to receive at an even deeper level of being. That's why people, as they received the basket, they were being given an opportunity to give, put something in, and then to take something out, and to really receive at depth. And in the scripture, it says that they ate and they were satisfied. It wasn't that each person just got a crumb. They were all satisfied by the process. Evidently, Spirit likes that one. So they were all satisfied. And so it reminds us that in this infinite flow of supply, there is always enough for all. We get in our culture so like, oh, am I going to have enough? There's enough for all. If you open not only to receive, but to give, because you're part of a divine creative cycle. And then finally, the last one, after you've received and given and you've closed this cycle and your miracle is here and you feel it and you experience it, your answered prayers manifesting, and you recognize it and it's fully present, you gather the fragments, reuse the resources to move forward on your next soul adventure. I love that Jesus was way, way, way ahead of his time. He did the original recycling program. And that's symbolic of the fact that the baskets went around and they came back and there were pieces left. And so don't abandon the flow. Allow it to continue. There is a wonderful country western song that my friend Anne Marie used in her ministerial service when we were in school together. And I think it's a Kathy Mattea song. And it's, most of us are standing in a river dying of thirst. And then, of course, there's the wonderful Auntie Mame. Most people are sitting at a banquet table starving to death. It's recognizing that it's not only the blessings that come in, but that whatever is there when the process is complete are actually the seeds and the energies, the deepened faith, the deeper belief in grace that come from that you can now incorporate when you begin again in that emptiness. That emptiness is fuller and fuller of the presence of Spirit. Haven't you experienced that when you've had things happen in your life, it changes the way you perceive things? The more you're aware of miracles, the more they show up for you, not because you're more worthy than somebody else. You just have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. It's here for all of us. Everything is holy now. And so he says at the end of the book, working these 12 traditions is not a magic trick. It's a way of living. It's taking this kind of consciousness and then incorporating it and becoming a miracle worker yourself. Working together with that presence of the divine. It lives in the hollow place made by the place where the hands of this blessing meet. Place your hands like this right now. Close your eyes and feel the blessings that you bring to the world, that you uniquely have to offer. Feel all the blessings you have received and that surround you and infill you in this moment, and open in willingness to allow this chalice of your heart to overflow with blessings and miracles, with loaves and fishes, with faith and with grace and with love, into a world that needs your presence so much that all will be satisfied. And so it is. Om, amen, and blessed be. Are you ready to stand up and sing? Let's stand up and sing. We've got Grateful. Oh, this is a wonderful one. You'll love the na-na-na-na-nas. I always think about the little, what are the little yellow? Minions. I always think about Minions when we sing this song. Na-na-na-na-na. Na-na-na-na-na.
All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be. It's a blessing, it's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all. All that I am, all that I see, all that I've been and all that I'll ever be is a blessing, it's so amazing, for it all.
Please be seated.
Nanas. I didn't get enough of those. Oh, so now is the time in our service where we receive the offering. So I invite you to take out your offering, and we'll bless it as we do here each week. And knowing that the blessing is about you, because without you, this planet doesn't work. So, and the blessing of that is that it is all of us together. So, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful.
Universe that you created, there is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I'd go without? There is more than enough. 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 There is more than enough.
My cup runneth over. There is more than enough. Absolutely. There is a more love than there can ever be fear. There's more opportunities than ever can be satisfied. There are more blessings that can ever be recognized. And that's what we're called upon to do, quite frankly, is to look out there and see the magnificence of spirit right here, right now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy, period. And come from that perspective. And it's not easy to do. I understand. I live that. But we can. Jesus gave us a great example of how to do that. Go apart for a while. Find your center. Find that place where God resides. And then step back out and do that over and over and over again. So we take these gifts and we send them forward across this community and bigger community on the planet, that each person may know that everything is holy now for them. To come from that place knowing that the creator of them and this whole planet is on their side, providing blessings and grace and wonder for all to enjoy. There's enough. We don't have to worry about scarcity. So send those forward with that intention. And when we get it, we get to create heaven on earth. And let us do that in our lifetime. And so it is. Amen. Okay. Well, we do have announcements today. We have multiple announcements today. So you may have noticed as you walked in the building that we have a wholly new wall here. So, and I understand that nature abhors a vacuum. And so there's two things going on with the wall, is that we're in the middle of finishing up the construction of that. It's going to go on all of this week, and hopefully we'll be pretty much done except for all the painting and the finish work on it. But the vacuum part is the part that is being now available. It's not available until we're done with the construction, so just if anybody that comes into this building, don't put anything into that space until you get the heads up. Because I got electricians, I got contractors, and moving stuff around is not part of their job description. So we'll move it out today and make sure it's cleaned up. So if you're bringing stuff to the garage sale or something, just don't drop it off in that room. Drop it off someplace else. Someplace where we'll find it. Because that space is going to be really busy. So that we got that. We also have, you may not know, but this lovely piano that we were gifted 10, 15 years ago has run its course. Its lifespan has become complete. And today, just today, the whole bottom end of the keys of your left-hand side don't work. So we're now playing in higher octaves. And so if we're singing really high like this, that's because we don't have the low end. That's the bad news. The good news is that there's a couple of people that went out and knew this was happening and found a new piano. So we were going to get, and it's a Steinway. So it's a really lightly used, beautiful piece of musician implements. It's not going to show up till August, so we're going to limp along for this. That piano wasn't exactly, this thing falling apart, was not exactly in the middle of our budget. And so we're going to put a basket on this piano for the next three Sundays. And this thing's coming in, first part of August, I think, right? Oh, end of August. Ooh, boy, that's going to be a lot of limping. We may have to have the electronic one. Anyway, so we're going to take love offerings and collections just to help defray the cost. So that's coming up in our future, and it's from all the work that these people have done. They assure us that this is the piano for this space, and we know of musicians that don't come here because this piano is not up to their level of competency. So maybe we'll have a piano concert. Who knows? Okay, we've got. So last week, I stumbled over this flyer about a soul collage. I'm calling it a soul college, but maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe it's a quick course. But it's a creative process, kind of like the Artist's Way, if anybody's done that. It's a condensed version of the Artist's Way to have a conversation with your soul. And it's a workshop next Saturday between 9 and noon. There's flyers out there. The registration is online. And the person that's going to lead this is worked with this for multiple years for this particular process. So it'll be an interesting part. So if you're curious about what your soul's up to, this might be a good thing to do. It's between 9 and noon next Saturday. Also next Saturday, starting at noon, so you can just finish up, Zelfa, and she's not here, I don't think. There she is, back in the back. She's going to have a walk, a herbal walk. Wayside weeds and villainous or virtuous. She should come to my garden. I think that they're villainous, quite frankly. But anyway, you can learn to either eat them or get rid of them, I think is what this thing is. So Zelfa has to do this walk. She does have a $5 fee to go along with that. And she's here, back in the back. If not, her telephone number's on the flyer for that one. If that's not enough, on the 27th at Sea Dog Farm out on Seaview Drive, we are having a water view concert and potluck following service. How's that? So it starts at 2 o'clock. It's at the home of Betsy and John Stillwater, and there's flyers out there of all things. So we've got flyers for all of that. Okay, now we'll get through the regular stuff. Oh, another irregular one. Kathleen Waldron's birthday's coming up on the 25th. And there is a basket, did you put it out there? In the lobby for birthday cards. So she would love to have a birthday card. So if people are going, oh, shoot, I forgot a birthday card, you could write a really nice note or something like that as well and put it in the basket or drop it by the church between now and Pam will take it over to her on her birthday on the 25th. So, the Baha'is are having their service here on Monday at noon to 1 o'clock in the Hearth Room. So if you want to do some chanting, some praying, the Baha'is back there. Okay, I'll take one from the back and then I got to finish this up. Loudly. You got to kind of, hold it, come on up, we can put you on the mic. I thought you were going to, you had the sign-up fees?
No.
Oh, okay.
Here, do I have somebody here?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Opportunity for service. Isn't that wonderful? We're looking for someone who is interested in coordinating our fellowship service, the goodies, the snacks, the coffee, all of that. Someone who will help us out in that capacity, serve your community here, and ensure that we all have tasty bits and coffee every single week. It's marvelous. So talk to me or David about that if you have an interest. And I'll get a sheet out at some point. But if you're interested in that, please come see me after service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, one last thing to remind you of the prayer box back of the sanctuary. Your prayer request will be prayed upon for a week by the church, then on the Silent Unity. We have 2 people holding the high watch today, Shakti and Diane. They're both available for personal affirmative prayer in the chapel, so you shall choose. There's great power in prayer, and it kind of has a hierarchy to it. You can sit, think about it, you can pray about it, you can write it down, or you can speak it. So take advantage of any one of those, and with that, we'll create a... Oh, the garage sale. How could I forget? I got to move all this stuff. The garage sale's coming up 1st and 2nd of August, which is like really soon, a week after this weekend. If you have stuff that you've been storing and waiting for the appropriate time, we'll take them. The church or somebody, well, other than the contractors, there's somebody usually in the church between 10 and 4, 10 and 3, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes on Wednesdays and not, or bring them Sunday, or give myself or Carl a call if you need something picked up. So we can do that as well. So we're looking for those things like we talked about earlier. You know, does it give me joy? Not particularly. Put it in the garage sale. We'll be happy to pass your joy on to somebody else and see what we can do with that. Is that working? Okay, let's create the circle. Oh, let there be light. Thank you. I thought we had a... I was just worried we blew another circuit. Everybody, that's Aaron. Hi, Aaron. Welcome to the community. Where'd Pam go? Oh, there you are.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. As God has created
Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every breath I take, yes, this is my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And we know
The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Miracles have already begun around the piano. I went back to get and put a colorful basket on the piano, and there was already money sitting there. And the other miracle is, I don't know if you know how hard it is to get rid of an old piano. Paul Creech is going to take this one away when he brings our new one, and then he's going to refurbish it over time and then pass it on to bless someone else. So miracles all the way around. Go forth blessed and blessing. Woo! Blessed week.
So you hear this singing bowl? Well, soon we're going to have some singers singing. And
Yes.
So
I'll
the
keep it
Unity
going.
Singers are starting up on Thursday at 2 o'clock. So if you're interested,
And
show
it's-
up at 2 o'clock on Thursday.
And we call it Unity Singers instead of a choir. You don't have to know how to read music and be excellent. Have a willing spirit and your voice will follow, I promise.
Singing critters. There you go. Woo! Have a great week, everybody.
Oh, good.
Did the memo get changed?
Oh my gosh, because I recognize you and I hadn't seen you in forever. How are you?
Amazing.
Oh, good.
I have a great story to share.
Oh, what? Let me turn this.